It's 12:02 p.m. in Los Angeles on Monday, the 25th of June, 2012. I'm Mark Strassman, reporter with Utopia News. It's 9 p.m. in Berlin, Germany, where I'm about to speak to Andreas Nitsche, who's the co-developer of LiquidFeedback, who's very graciously agreed to talk to us today in the English that he's very proficient in. Thank you very much for talking to us today on Utopia News.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
What were you doing professionally before you developed LiquidFeedback, and are you still doing it now?
I'm a computer scientist and a CEO of a company and work in a team providing database solutions like enterprise resource and planning, point of sale applications, reservation systems, that kind of stuff. And yes, it's what I'm still doing.
Okay, where did you get the idea for LiquidFeedback, or where did the idea come from?
One of the underlying concepts, liquid democracy, basically transitive proxy voting, has been around for a while. It was first suggested in internet forums in the United States, I believe around the year 2000. Back in 2009, the growing Berlin Pirate Party wanted to perpetuate the chances for every party member to participate in both the development of ideas and decisions, and they thought transitive proxy voting might be a promising idea. And we got fascinated by this idea, and to make it work in a political context, we added a genuine democratic proposition process and preferential voting.
Who got together to develop it?
The core team consists of 4 people. The other developers are Jan Behrens, Axel Kistner, and Björn Zwirczek. We have worked together in several projects for some years now. So we are talking about a well-oiled machine, and we received contributions, in particular translations for adding new languages, and we are very glad some developers started to create additional front ends and smartphone applications.
What were your intentions and hopes for the program when you developed it?
When we started, we thought of political parties as opposed to civic participation. This was for obvious reasons. As of now, political parties prepare most political decisions. And where, if not in parties, will you find so many people interested in political affairs? The idea was, wouldn't it be great for ordinary party members to participate in what they are interested in and using delegations, still make sure their vote counts for their wing in the party in all other fields. The intention was to help strengthen inner party democracy and thereby make parties more attractive to citizens as well.
Why did you make it open source?
We believe democracy needs trust, and in order to earn this trust, democratic decision-making using the internet needs to be transparent. By making our project open source, we allow anyone to inspect the code, and we allow anyone to make necessary changes for a particular use case. Of course, we are aware not everybody can inspect the code, but everybody can ask somebody he trusts to do it for him.
And since it's open source, does that mean it's free?
You are right. Open source doesn't necessarily mean free, but in the case of LiquidFeedback, it does. We use the very liberal MIT license, which allows everybody to use it. However, the setting up, the configuration, the operation of LiquidFeedback systems require some skills, and depending on the use case, further customization or even additional components may become necessary. To some extent, we give some free email support. We also offer consulting, lectures, and workshops, and we can point in the right direction if somebody needs hosting and doesn't want to care about technical questions at all.
What is the organizational relationship between the Public Software Group, which publishes LiquidFeedback, and Interactive Democracy, which supports its use?
As you said, LiquidFeedback is published by the Public Software Group, and this is all the Public Software Group does, publishing open source software. The developers of LiquidFeedback have teamed up in the Interaktive Demokratie Association, the meaning is interactive democracy, to promote the use of electronic media for democratic processes. And we offer the services we just mentioned before.
What does LiquidFeedback let its users do?
Every user can start an initiative, support initiatives, suggest enhancements for existing initiatives, start alternative initiatives, and can vote on all available alternatives in the end of the process. And a user can transfer his vote to make it count for his own wing in a given issue.
And how are policy issues and positions introduced?
Users can bring up an issue by starting a proposition or an initiative, as we call it. If a user starts an initiative not assigned to any existing issue, it is a new issue, which will be accepted for discussion if at least one of the initiatives in the issue reach a predefined quorum. Usually it's 10%. This way we check if the participants think an issue is worth discussing. Important is, at this point, we do not filter out individual initiatives, but rather check the whole issue. If the issue is accepted, all assigned initiatives will be discussed. And down the road, there is another quorum when it comes to voting. And at that point, after all discussion has taken place, individual initiatives without a minimum support will not be in the voting process.
How are the initiatives discussed?
Actually, the discussion takes place elsewhere, but the users can support one or more initiatives of an issue. They can suggest modifications of the draft and assess suggestions of other users. And as said before, you can start an alternative initiative. Discussing, I want to give you the reason, discussing is a social process, and we didn't even try to draw a single instance that dominates the discussion. Instead, we want to organize the process and measure the support and try to predict the development of support if an initiator accepts certain suggestions.
Now, you use some complicated algorithms to do that sometimes. What are those?
The most complicated algorithm is probably the voting process itself. It's the Schulze method, the preferential voting, a very advanced system.
And how are final policy issues decided?
There may be, resulting from that process, there may be initiatives based on the same basic idea, which could turn out as a disadvantage for that idea. I want to give you an example. Talking about the conversion of a closed military base, you can have three proposals to build a community park, to build a campground, or to build a chemical plant. And if you have 30% for the community park, 30% for the campground, 40% for the chemical plant, and you can guess that the people who would like the community park would also like the campground and vice versa. And what we do is, with the clone-proof Schwarz sequential dropping of the Schulze method, we allow to express preferences. You can say, I want the community park, but if it won't win, I want to support the campground. You can have it visualized in a video if you check your viewers can check our YouTube channel, LQFB Media. I spell it for you, Lima, Query, Foxtrot, Bravo, Mike, Echo, Delta, India, Alpha. And the video is called Preferential Voting English, so it's all in English then.
Okay. Now, to talk a little bit more about the delegation of one's vote, how that works.
Okay. First, to give you an idea of a delegation, it can be seen as a transferable power of attorney for both the discussion process and the final voting. And the delegation can be made by unit, area, or issue, and be revoked at any time. Regardless of existing delegations, a member can participate in the discussion and also the voting, which disables the delegation for the given activity. This means that's the liquid feedback version of the common rule: a proxy cannot vote in the presence of the principal.
The proxy cannot vote in the presence of the principal?
You can see it in some state laws on proxy voting. They say if the principal is present, the proxy cannot vote anymore because he's there himself.
And you use that rule in the system?
This rule, and if you have a delegation, and you vote yourself, or your outgoing delegation is cancelled for this activity.
Okay. What does the user interface look like? Or can you refer us to a place where we can see some screenshots?
Yes, I would invite your viewers to visit our website, liquidfeedback.org, where you can find our mission statement and screenshots, and also access to the test system.
Okay, now you've explained pretty much how the program works. I want to switch now to its political uses. How important a role does it play in the operation of the Piratenpartei Deutschland, the German pirate party?
Okay, this is actually a question you should ask the Pirate Party. What we can see from outside is there are differences between the chapters when it comes to actual usage. In Berlin, liquid democracy is part of the statutes, which underlines the importance for the Berlin pirates, while on the federal level, the function is less defined. Apparently, on the federal level, liquid feedback helps the members to get an idea of which propositions can get a majority within the party. Some board members decide based on liquid feedback results, and liquid feedback seems to be helpful for the preparation of party conventions, as many propositions are pre-discussed and maybe enhanced in liquid feedback.
So it varies by the region?
Yes.
Okay. What other similar programs compete with liquid feedback, and how do they compare in terms of their functionality with liquid feedback and their interfaces?
I don't see any similar liquid democracy program in terms of being designed to work with large groups with real conflicts, using strict rules in a predefined process without moderator interference. To give you an example, we do not count on people working collaboratively. I mean, it's great if they do, but looking at politics, you don't want to depend on that.
Okay.
So I don't see any other software that follows this idea.
How is access to liquid feedback controlled?
All right. You are raising a very important question, and also a tricky question. Given the nature of the internet, any installation without an access control can only be used for technical tests and not be taken serious when it comes to decisions, which makes the system basically useless if you don't have a working access control. Currently, we have two basic scenarios. One is we have an existing member database of a party or association. In this case, we assign one invite code to every member record, and the member receives the invite code by email and can register with it. If somebody leaves the party organization, the member database sends a request to deactivate the corresponding account. So that's how it works. In most cases, there's additional ident information transferred to liquid feedback before the registration takes place. For instance, if you get an invite code and you try to register, Mark Strassman, Los Angeles, California will show up and will be available to every other user in the system as well. And the second possibility is civic registration. In this case, citizens can sign up on a registration website, and passport, voter registration, social security number authority, or the like confirms the status of the participant, and a letter with the invite code is generated and mailed to the residential address. If a participant is no longer entitled to take part, the account can be deactivated by that authority. So that's it.
Right, so access control is an important part of making the system work. In what languages is liquid feedback available now, and in what additional languages are you planning to release it?
Okay, currently we have English, German, and Esperanto. While English and German are complete, Esperanto, I think there's something missing, and the missing words are replaced by English. In the next release, we will also start with Greek and Hungarian, and we have seen some language files in Dutch, Italian, Portuguese, and Russian from other organizations, we will be glad to add any languages to the official release, providing they are contributed with a so-called contributor license agreement in order to apply the very same MIT license to it.
How many users can a specific instance of LiquidFeedback support?
As we use the PostgreSQL database, it's virtually unlimited. However, if you add more users, you will at some point need more servers, and the concept does not withstand that solution. But we didn't reach that point so far, and therefore we are relaxed for now and cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay, you're releasing LiquidFeedback 2.0 on June 29th, which is only a few days away. What changes have been made in the program in this new version?
We added unit support, which allows branches, or chapters, or regions, like Santa Monica, LA County, Southern California, United States. We also made some changes to the user interface. It's easier to handle. For instance, there are new customized timelines showing what is going on in the system. And finally, we made big progress in providing an application programming interface, which will allow the introduction of alternative front ends and smartphone apps with more and more functionality in the next months.
Are parties other than the pirates using this software?
We gave presentations for mainstream political parties, and we know some of these parties have installations. We don't know for sure what these installations are used for, so they might be test installations which we wouldn't really consider as actually using the software.
Okay. Are your satisfactions from this work greater because of the technical aspects of what you've achieved, or by the political impact that it has?
Neither nor, and at the same time both. I would say the key challenge was the abstract organization of social process, predefined rules for the discussion and decision making, with a theoretically unlimited number of people who are equal. No boss present, democratic self-organization within the system, and along the way you encounter interesting technical questions, obviously, and of course we are thrilled by seeing it actually work and this way having impact.
And what do you see as the future for LiquidFeedback?
We still hope many parties in different countries will use it. We also have associations like Slow Food Germany using LiquidFeedback. The scenario is similar to political parties, obviously with different topics from time to time. LiquidFeedback is also used by corporations for developing employee suggestions for the CEO. In this case, we are not talking about real democratic decisions, which has to be taken into account, into consideration when setting up such a system. The vanguard for this is Synexon Incorporated. And now for the latest development, meanwhile, LiquidFeedback found its way into civic participation. This was clearly not our intentions in the first place, but we are very happy that Friesland County in Germany contacted us with brilliant ideas, and together we developed a concept for this use case, and we're looking forward to the official start of Liquid Friesland in fall.
Okay, good. Well, I want to thank you very much for your work and for talking to us about it today on Utopia News.
You're welcome. It's been my pleasure, Mark.
Bye.
Bye.